Have you been wanting to install security cameras on the outside of your house, but haven't done it simply because of the hassle of installing wiring on the outside of your house, or dealing with wireless systems that have to change batteries all the time and you have to get a ladder and take it up and down? Personally, that's why I haven't done it, and if you're in the same boat as I am, today I have a product that would definitely help you out, and it is called the Netatmo Smart Security Camera. And this actually gets replaced right where you already have existing lighting on the outside of your house. So let's go ahead and check it out. Welcome back, friends. If this is your first time here, my name is Eric. If you're into smart homes, home automation, and especially HomeKit, you're definitely in the right place. Today's video is a part of my HomeKit series, but the Netatmo Smart Camera does work with Lady A and also Google. I'll be leaving a full pros and cons list on my website, so if you want to get an update on this product or more information, definitely check out that link down below. For full disclosure, Netatmo did send this out to me on a media loan, but that's not going to sway my opinion in one way or another. If I don't like something, I'm definitely going to let you know. So let's go ahead and jump into the unboxing and see what comes with this.
First thing you come across is the camera itself, and it has the mount and it has the wiring all there put together for you. There's a couple things that you have to do in the install, which I'll get into, but this is pretty much everything. It does have the camera at the bottom, which is a 4 megapixel camera with 100-degree field of vision with a resolution of 1920 by 1080, which is a 1080p camera. And then up at top you can see all the floodlights. They are LEDs, and altogether it's about 12 watts, which are dimmable, which they say equals out to 120 watts of halogen light, and it's actually pretty bright. Also, among the LED floodlights, you'll notice the infrared night lights, which they say can detect up to about 15 meters or about 50 feet. At the bottom of the device, you'll find a removable panel, which does have the micro SD card. In my particular case, it came with a 16 gigabytes, even though on the website it does say it comes only with a 8 gigabytes. So it looks like they did upgrade it here. Also included in this version is a siren that they say can go up to about 105 decibels. I was able to get about 130 without actually taking the sound meter and putting it on top of the device, but I don't think it was really that loud. It's not going to get the attention of your neighbors, but if someone is breaking in and you do want to scare them away, I definitely think this will do the job. They also include all the hardware and wiring that you'll need to install this. You'll notice a zip tie on the device. Don't cut this off, it's actually there on purpose, which I'll show you later what this is used for.
Now, we'll be installing this on my deck that does have a light on the exterior of the house that is controlled by a switch on the interior of the house. Now, you might be asking me how this is going to work, because if someone switches that switch off, that's going to turn off the power to this smart camera. And you would definitely be correct. However, I will be rewiring that switch with a smart switch. That way the camera still has constant power, and I can control the lighting from the switch through automations. When it came to installation, it is fairly simple, but if you're not comfortable with electricity, or if you run into a situation that you're not quite sure about, definitely seek out professional help. First thing you want to do is turn off that power. Go ahead and remove your old light from the exterior house and make sure that power is actually off. Trying to rewire with 2 hands and hold up a light at the same time is nearly impossible, so having this zip tie is definitely incredibly useful.
You'll then want to connect the wires from the house to the camera, which you will have to trim the wires just a little bit just because of the adapter that they have, which I've never seen before, but I actually really like it. Follow the instructions in the manual to make sure you're connecting the right wires in the correct place. Once you do that, go ahead, tuck all the wires back in and screw in the plate. Once you've done that, go ahead and lock down the actual camera to the plate, but don't fully tighten it just yet. You want to make sure you go ahead, turn the power back on, then come back up, and once you're in the app and you can see where the camera is pointed and you're happy with that location, that's when you can actually lock the camera down so it won't move. But don't do that just yet until you're happy with the location.
And when it comes to rewiring the switch, you will be taking the line wire, otherwise known as the hot wire, to both power the camera and also the smart switch. First thing you want to do is check your local laws and regulations to make sure this is actually legal and you're comfortable with this. If you are not comfortable with this, there's two other solutions. One is that you can tape over your existing switch. It does have an eyesore and this still has a potential of someone turning off.
And then the second solution, which is a better solution, is a lock or cover for the toggle switch, or if you have a paddle switch, they also make locks for those paddle switches.
And if you can't identify the line wire right away, definitely cap off all the wires individually, go back downstairs, turn on the power, come back up, take your little electrical meter, and whichever one is hot is your line wire. Go back downstairs, turn off the power, and then come back up and start rewiring this. And you want to tie both the load wire and the switch to the line wire in one consecutive bundle, depending on your situation. There's other ways you can do this with little pigtails and stuff. It's up to your preference and what you feel comfortable with. The load wire from the switch, you can go ahead and cap that off. That is not needed in this install. Go ahead and tie your neutral wires all together and your grounds, and go ahead and put everything back in, and you're all done. Go ahead, go back downstairs, turn on the power, and come back up. You can see both the smart switch and the exterior camera both have power. Of course, the switch is not currently going to work with the light just because you have to set up the automations, but it's quite easy to do. But before you do that, you do want to set up the camera with HomeKit, Lady A, and Google. I'm going to primarily focus on HomeKit just because that's my personal preference, but I'm also going to briefly show you how to do this in Lady A in just a few moments. First thing you want to do is download the Netatmo app and set up an account. Go ahead and walk through the process of an install, and I'll have you hold up a little card up to the camera. One thing I do want to mention with the card is that you want to make sure you hold up the correct side. One side of the card is a reset and one side of the card is an install. Make sure you hold up the install QR code. The thing I want to mention is that you want to make sure you have good Wi-Fi coverage to where you install this light. You can easily check the signal from your phone just sitting outside and seeing how strong that signal is. If it's not very strong, you definitely want to work on your Wi-Fi system a little bit. Next, you want to set this up with HomeKit. Have you go into the Home app, hit the plus in the top right corner, hit add accessory, and then scan the QR code that they also include on a different card. Once you do that, that will automatically add it to HomeKit and you're good to go. Now that this is all set up with the app and also HomeKit, one of the first things that you notice is the footage is quite nice, coming in at 1080p. I was actually quite happy with this footage, even though I think the field of vision is quite narrow. Only in my particular case though, because the camera is installed only 5 or 6 feet off the deck, where a lot of people are going to be installing this a lot higher. In most cases, where that field of vision, you don't want something super wide when it's installed so high. So I understand why they have the field of vision a little bit smaller, but I understand why they did what they did. And at the end of the day, everything that I need to see is in that field of vision, so I am quite happy. Now jumping into the Netatmo app, you will have all your clips on the very first page, and also we can hit live to see a live footage. But I did find that you have to hit live and then also hit play. It would be a little bit nicer and easier if you just hit live and it would automatically play. I'm not quite sure why they did that for it, but it was a little extra step. Also found a little cumbersome when you have to turn on the light in the app. You have to go to your settings and then turn on the light. It's an extra step. It would be nicer if it was on the main page. Same thing with the alarm, even though I understand that some people don't want to accidentally set off the alarm, but if you need to do that in a hurry, you still have to go through the extra step, which is a little bit of a hassle. This alarm feature is only manually set off in the Netatmo app. You cannot do it in Home app, and you cannot set up any automations. However, you can have the light to turn on automatically based off of motion. It's up to your preference what you want to come on automatically with motion alerts. You can have just the Netatmo spotlight come on, or through automations in HomeKit, you can have other accessories also get triggered. With the monitoring turned on, if there's any motion, it will start recording to the SD card, and it also sends a notification if you have that setting on. And what's really nice that it will identify people, animals, and also cars. I did find that it was 95% correct, and the 5% of the time that it did get it wrong, you can actually improve the detection by telling it what it is. For instance, it kept thinking that my grill was a car every time the sun would hit it. I just identified that it was none of the above, and after 3 or 4 times it actually stopped giving me notifications. So it was definitely an extremely smart system.
In addition to reduce some false notifications and recordings, you can set up motion zones, which they do allow 4 zones in the screen, but they cannot cross each other. You just want to square out the area that you want, and if you need to add a second square or 2 or 3 or 4, you can definitely do so. That way you can identify the specific area that you want to be notified of.
Now, in addition to saving those clips to the SD card, you also have an option of sending it to an FTP server if you have one, or also Dropbox. It actually was quite nice. I sent it to Dropbox and it stored all the footage in any resolution that I wanted. I blew out my Dropbox in no time. So if you do want to do that, you do want to reduce the resolution so you don't fill up your Dropbox too fast, or at least delete it, maybe once or twice a week, because you don't need the footage anymore. Another option, hopefully in the near future, will be HomeKit Secure Video. This does work with HomeKit, and you can see a live feed. You can also automate if it does have any motion. You can get notifications if you set that up through HomeKit. But unfortunately, it does not work with HomeKit Secure Video, so there's no way of saving those clips in HomeKit. Hopefully that will be coming in the near future. Now, setting this up with Lady A is also extremely easy. All you need to do is go to the Lady A app, go into the skills and look for the Netatmo skill. Once you're in there, go ahead and log into your Netatmo account and you're good to go. The only other small con I have with this device, unfortunately, is the pricing. With the siren, this thing is over $300, which is quite expensive. Even though it is one of the only outdoor cameras with lighting that works with HomeKit, I still find it a little bit expensive. I would expect this to be around the $200 to $250 range. They do, however, have another version without the siren. So if you don't have a user case for the siren, definitely pick up the other version. They're pretty much identical and save a little bit of money there. But otherwise, this is a great camera. I've been using this for a couple weeks now. No issues whatsoever. I'm quite happy with this. Unfortunately, I do have to return this unless they want to work something out, hint, hint. And I can't wait to see what else they come out with. Hint, hint, DoorBell. Hopefully that will be coming out soon. I'm extremely excited for the Netatmo DoorBell, and hopefully they will let me review that on this channel also. If you guys have any questions about the Netatmo Outdoor Smart Camera and lighting with the siren, let me know down below, or check out my full pros and cons list on my website for an update. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you smash that like button. It really lets me know that you guys like videos like this, and if you didn't, let me know down in the comments why. If you guys want to see the next video in my HomeKit series, check out that video right there, and I will see you next time. I'm out.
Nothing can break me.